Hello everyone, welcome to Political Science class for class 11. In this session, we'll start with a new topic that is on Unit 2, Nation and State. Okay, it's a new topic. Okay, the first one, what is a nation? Okay. The word nation is derived from the Latin word natio, which means birth or race. Okay, so a nation is something to do with our birth and our race. All right, Professor Burgess, he used this term nation to denote people who have ethnic unity, inhabiting a territory of geographic unity. So in this definition, we have three, that is ethnic unity, and the other is inhabiting a territory of geographic unity. What is ethnic unity? Ethnic or ethnicity, it means a group of people who have a similar costumes, okay, literature, tradition, ancestors. Those are called, or those people who have common feeling is coming under the ethnic unity or ethnicity. Okay, later on, common language was added to these definitions. Okay. Now, what about nationality? The term nationality, the other term. Nationality, it is a subjective term. Okay, it is a condition of mind and a way of living and feeling. For example, when we fill up a form, there comes under this some point there is nationality. We give Indian, right? So this is a condition of mind. Okay, our thinking. The next concept is nationalism. Okay, this nationalism, it is often expressed in a patriotic feeling. For example, in armed forces, they use a slogan like Jai Hind, right? So that is a national, okay, a patriotic feeling. Three terms having three different meanings: nation, nationality, and nationalism. Okay, to have a better understanding about the term nation, we'll look about the features. We have 5 features under nation. The first is common belief or a sense of oneness. The sense of oneness, this is the most important to have a nation. Okay, people coming together and feeling a identity of oneness. Okay, an individual may come and go, but the nation, it stays forever. All right. Number B, common history. People who fought wars, okay, shared or conquest territory or shared the defeat together, okay, emerged glorious in their respective war, have a natural tendency of feeling a oneness or a feeling of unity. For example, in Indian history, the revolt of 1857, it is also considered as the first war of Indian independence. This war, it created a feeling of nation or nationalism. Okay, that was the best example under the common history. Okay, so common history, it brings about a common unity under the nation. Number 3, territory. A fixed territory or a geographical unit is needed for a nation. Okay, under territory is talking about land, okay, rivers, these mountains which act as a natural barrier for the nation. The next is shared ideas and values. Under these shared ideas and values, it's talking about concepts like liberalism, socialism, democratic freedom, which the leaders of the nation thought that it is necessary and it's important for a nation. Okay, shared ideas and values. Again, they also put another concept, that is a free market economy, so that the people in the nation could establish herself in the economic or in the business lines. Number 5, we have a common identity. For example, in India, she is filled with various religion groups as well as different ethnic tribes also. But despite these differences, they have a common identity. For example, India, she is filled with different religious groups like Hinduism, Muslims, Jainism, Christianity, but all this religion, they somewhat encompasses an idea of unity, respect, and also a feeling of oneness. So having a common identity is another feature of a nation. So these 5 points, okay, it talks about, or it throws light about the concept of a nation. Without these 5 concepts, we cannot call it as a nation. Okay, so these are the features, or we can say these are the elements that constitute a nation. Okay, the other topic will be a state. What is a state? People living, okay, or a group or an association of people who live in a definite territory, have a government and has sovereignty. Okay, it is the meaning of state. She has 4 elements. Okay. The first is population. Okay. Population is very much necessary to constitute a state. Okay, a population, without population we cannot term it a state. So a kind of population, maybe more or maybe less, it needs to have a population. Okay, for example, countries like Vatican City, okay, and other state like China. When we compare these two, one is very small and the other is very big, but still we call it a state, right? So that a sense of population is needed to constitute a state. Okay, now point number 2, we have government. A government to frame rules and regulations so that the people living in the state could rule in this. Okay, under the law, rule of law. Okay, there is not a single form of government that needs to or that may come under the state. Okay, a state may have different forms of government. For example, presidential, parliamentary, or even a monarchy. It might have different forms of government. Okay, and under this government, they also have external jurisdiction. That is, to have relations with the neighboring countries. Okay, so this is the role of the government. When we say the role of the government, is talking about the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary, and other administrative units. Okay, that runs the government, that controls the people as well as the state. Okay, now the third point is territory, or we can say geographical. A state needs to have a fixed territory. All right. A territory is talking about the land and the airspace that is coming under the territory of that state. Territory is talking about land again, the rivers as well as this mountain ranges that also forms as a natural barrier or as a blockade or as a defense for the state. Okay, and territory, if that territory is rich in mineral resources, it will enhance the economy of that state. So territory is really important because it defines the economy as well as the political system of that state. Okay, the other point is sovereignty. Okay, sovereignty means a legal authority. Okay, and under sovereignty we have 2: internal sovereignty and external sovereignty. Internal sovereignty is where the government exercise full control over the individual, okay, through the laws and regulations. And external sovereignty will be how the state have relations with the other countries, okay, like maybe through diplomacy or through bilateral relations. Okay, that is under the external sovereignty. And when a state has sovereignty, she is free from both internal and external judgment as well as relations. No other country can have a control over that state if she has sovereignty, freedom from internal as well as external control. Okay, this is the meaning of sovereignty. Okay. Okay, our next topic is the difference between nation and state. Having learned the meaning and the features of nation and state, we'll differentiate between these two. Okay, the first is oneness and unity. For a nation, to constitute a nation, people must have a feeling of oneness and unity, and that this oneness and unity may not be quite necessary to constitute a state. The population that is under the state, okay, they may not have unity or oneness, but to constitute a nation, this is the first and the most important one. Okay, oneness and unity. Second, population. To constitute a state, we need some kind of population. Okay, maybe a large population or maybe a less population. For a nation, not such population is not necessary. For example, the Jewish population, she is scattered all over the world, right? Even in US, even in Israel, mostly in the Western countries. Okay, so this feeling of nation is somewhat a state of mind. They may not have a fixed population or living under a fixed territory. Okay, point number 3 is talking about territory. To constitute a state, she needs a fixed and a defined territory. But for a nation, a fixed or a defined territory is not needed. All right. And number 4, to constitute a state, we need 4 elements that we have discussed: territory, government, sovereignty, and population. These 4 elements is needed to constitute a state. Okay, but for this nation, she need not this. Okay, she needs unity, common history that we have discussed, shared ideas and values, and somewhat a kind of turn, but not a fixed territory, okay, for this nation. So when we compare these two, the nation and a state, nation is somewhat broader in scope, okay, but state is a defined unity, or we can say a defined population with having a definite government to rule the people as well as to rule the state territory. Okay, so when we compare this, nation is broader in concept and state is lesser in concept, but when it comes to the working condition, nation is somewhat smaller and state is bigger. Okay, so with this we'll end this session that is on nation and state. Okay, our next topic is national self-determination. Okay, national self, this one here, to determine herself. For example, we can take the country of India. She got her independence from her colonial rule and now she is free. Okay, she has the national self-determination to run her country or run her government in the way she thinks best for India. Okay, the features of self-determination is point number 1 here. Each nation has the right to self-government. That means to rule the country in the way this India wants the government. We've taken the example of India. The moment she got her independence, she followed a parliamentary form of government where the people were given the right to choose their respective leaders through elections. So this is the right to self-government. Okay, electing the respective candidates so as to so that the voice of the people could be heard and be discussed in the parliament. That is the point number 1. Each nation the right to self-government. Point number 2, the nationalists believe in the ideas of liberty, equality. Okay, the nationalist leader in India, for example, Nehru, Ambedkar, okay, Gandhi, they were influenced by Western ideas like liberty, equality that was going on in the European or in the Western countries. So they adopted this policy, and this can be seen even in the present constitution, right? We have liberty, we have equality. Some of these are also incorporated in the Constitution of India under the fundamental rights. So self-determination, their view is that even though the countries have these principles, okay, to realize completely, okay, fully liberty and equality, all nations must be free, okay, free from this internal as well as external control. Because in this present, there are smaller countries which are still controlled by the bigger and the developed countries, especially in the economic. So they say that this principle could be fully realized if all nations is free from the external control. Okay. Point number C, we have world peace. National self-determination is another way talking about the world peace. India, she also talks about this when she has this debate in the international politics, especially in the United Nations. She voted for peace, okay, especially in relations with India and Pakistan as well as India and China, mainly based on the border issues that is going on between India and China right now in the Ladakh. So the advocate, the world peace is the aim of almost every country. Okay, so national self-determination is apart from governing themselves, that is apart from these rules and regulations that the government is focused, the other concern for the respective country of the world is this: to have peace. Okay, maybe between the countries, between the neighboring countries, or maybe in this another country with 2 or 3 more countries, but this, okay, world peace which is discussed and which can be realized in the contemporary world politics when it is discussed in the international organization. Okay, point number 4, we have unified by national sentiments. Okay, this is somewhat like a common history. India, when she fought this national freedom, all the people, all the religions, be it Muslims or Hindus or Sikhs, they came forward, especially we seen in the revolt of 1857. They were driven by these national sentiments, okay, a feeling of nationalism. So with this, India got independence and she got the right to self-determination. And self-determination is controlled somewhat by these national sentiments, okay, the sentiments of the people, the views of the people, how the government must rule, or in which direction or in which way, okay, what relief has to be given when the country is facing a crisis, be it economic or be it a political crisis. So these national sentiments of the people drive the self-determination of the head of the government who is ruling the government, okay. So these are the 4 features under the national self-determination. Okay, with this we end this topic.